Welcome into the Upstate Pulse. My name is Lonzo. It is a beautiful Saturday evening. When I say, I mean, dude, it is nice out there, and it's cooled down just a tad, but it's not bad. It's not bad. This has been one of the better days than we've had in a while, and we know you're out and about because we were just out and about. And thank you for joining us for the next 2 hours of hopefully. No, hopefully we guarantee a good time. You get a Lonzo guarantee of a good time. Which really doesn't really mean a whole lot, except for just that I guarantee it, which means I don't think I'm liable if you don't have a good time. I don't think you can sue me if I say you're going to have a good time and you don't have a good time. I don't know if that's how that works. I don't want to find out either. So please don't litigate. Just have a good time.
Don't litigate, appreciate.
Yes, exactly. I sent you a thing. I did. I absolutely did on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook.
Yeah, my bad. Matthew arrived a little bit late, and so we're taking care of some things on the air. Sorry about that. On today's show, we are going to continue with the Upstate Pulse toy bracket. We're going to talk some South Carolina Comicon because we're just a month away from it, and we've got a few more guests that are big-time guests. We'll talk about that. We're going to break down the latest episode of Dragonball Daima, latest episode of Invincible. Also, we had some deaths of note. I may be the only one who knows those people, but we'll see. And we've got Nerd Roundtable and a ton of other things. Odie is not with us this evening. He had some things going on and could not be here, but I'm here. As I said, my name is Lonzo. And Matthew is here. He says he can't find a thing. We'll figure that out in a minute.
Not, the link isn't working.
Oh, it's not?
I'm getting a 404.
Well, I did send it to you.
Send it through email. That always works.
Okay. We'll have to do that during the break. But in the meantime, you can be on the radio. Also, Cameron is here.
Hi.
And we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X at either 98.9 WRD or the Upstate Pulse. You can also get us on the text line at 800-905-0989, which is very important because if there are ties, and you may be saying, Lonzo, how can it be ties? There are three people. Because I got it taken care of. I had some other people pick the bracket so that we have Rob Brown from the Rob Brown Show pick the next round of the bracket, and also I had another guest picker just in case we needed a fourth, and we're good.
Well,
so
much like Batman, you have contingencies.
I do. It's when during this time of year, whenever we're doing this thing, I got to make sure that I have everything covered. I do want to ask something of the people who are watching on the stream. Hey, hang with us a little bit longer. A lot of people get that alert where it says, oh, 98.9's on the air. Something major has happened. Nope, it's just us. But it doesn't mean that that you can't have a little bit of a good time. I get it. Some people, politics is it's your thing. It's what you do. It's all you're into, but it's okay to smile. It's okay to have a good time. And we're going to do that here because we're into stuff that maybe you're into, maybe your kids are into, maybe your grandkids are not illicit stuff, okay? Not illegal stuff. Although maybe in some countries it might be illegal, but not here, so we're good. And it's pop culture. In some countries, pop culture is illegal, but it's not here in the United States. So we're going to talk about some pop culture, including South Carolina Comicon coming the 5th and the 6th of April. So we are a month away. And a big-time guest was just announced, and it's Giancarlo Esposito. So if you don't know who Giancarlo Esposito is, he was in The Mandalorian. He was in Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. He was just in Captain America, The Brave and the Bold. Brave New World, whatever. It was Brave something. Yeah, I don't know. It's Brave something. He was just in that. What else was he in? He's been in a ton of stuff. I think he's also done voice work and things like that. He's
done voice work.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's a pretty big star, and he's going to be at South Carolina Comicon. Also, Tara Strong. And I don't know if it was just announced or if it was already in there and I just missed it.
I think it's been in there, but I mean, might as well say.
Just went through all the stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. She, Duna Bros on the stream mentions Far Cry 6. Forgot all about Far Cry 6.
Yes, because he was the main bad guy.
He was the main bad guy. Trying to teach his son how to do the thing that he does. which was being a bad guy. And his son just didn't really want to do it. So, but
Oh, Dad, I don't want to be a
if you haven't
dictator.
played Far Cry 6, it is on Game Pass, so you can play it for free if you don't want to. You don't buy it. I mean, technically, you are buying it. We already got some people up on stream. Scott's there, Chris is there, Dana Bros, as I just mentioned, Viper Dave. Let's see. Scott says, "Greetings from the Mythic Con West 2025 Tabletop Gaming Convention in Nashville.
Ooh.
This week, it was reported by online sources that the situation in Hollywood after the fires is even more dire than originally thought, with some saying that with massive federal assistance, the film television industry will not be able to rebuild in California and will seek to relocate. Some believe this is a good thing as it will make the entertainment industry decentralized." Here's the thing. A lot of stuff goes on in Atlanta. So
Atlanta
Yeah.
has basically kind of been over the course of the past several years becoming a second Hollywood. Back when I was in college was when that was really picking up more. And I actually did a big, during one of my internships one summer, I did a big feature story about that. It was really interesting.
that's cool. I mean, because if you look, a lot of shows, especially Disney stuff, is done in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, all the Walking Dead stuff
Mhm.
done in Atlanta. So wouldn't surprise me if we don't get some more stuff down this way. You know, maybe creep into North Carolina and South Carolina also. So looking forward to South Carolina Comicon. If you've never been, you need to come down here and check it out, because I know now that we go to this broadcast goes to 3 states, and of course, internet, we go worldwide, maybe throughout the universe. I don't know. I don't know how signals work entirely.
Looking at you, Glorbulons.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Yeah, Glorbulons, although they may actually be
I
first.
can confirm that it is indeed only the humans who witness this program. There are no extraterrestrial life that is currently watching and learning from this program in order to better prepare for their eventual coming.
If there were, by the way, they would be furries, because they'd be underneath the fur, and you wouldn't know that it was an actual alien at the con in a furry suit. You wouldn't know that.
You both make very good points.
I mean,
I
it's
can
just-
promise that no aliens would ever use furry suits to blend in at conventions.
Yeah. So when you might be doing a little something freaky with a furry, could be an alien. I don't know. It could be. Also, the best thing, one of the best things about Comicon is that you see things online, you go, wow, that looks really cool, but you can't actually pick it up and feel the weight of it or feel its durability. Talking about like action figures or statues or swords or something like that. At Comicon, you can actually do that. And this is the most, I don't want to, eclectic. I don't know, as far as guests go.
I
there's
would say
just-
eclectic
it's-
because
I
there's
mean,
a lot of different.
So many
places being
people from
represented.
different eras going to be there. And this thing gets bigger and bigger every year, which is cool because we've been going for a decade now. And as it gets bigger, we get the inside track on a lot of things, thanks to Rob Young, who's the owner of Borderlands Comics and Games, and also South Carolina Comicon and South Carolina Comicon Junior. Rob Young, who will be joining us on the 15th and possibly the 29th. Right now, he's in Columbus, Ohio. He's back in my old stomping grounds, as they say. I told him to say hello to Ohio to
By
me.
the way, why do they call it old stomping grounds?
I don't know, because
Why do they stomp so much?
I don't know, Matthew. Why do they call it the old stomping grounds?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you. It's he's doing the Arnold Classic. So
Which one? Which Arnold? Hey, Arnold.
no, it's not. It's not. Hey, Arnold.
Arnold.
Schwarzenegger. It's a classic that happens in Columbus, Ohio every year. So
Oh yeah.
he's there doing that. So and he went there last
Got it.
year, and he's gone a couple years in a row. So it's pretty cool. He was texting me back and forth from there. Didn't realize that's where he was. As we set up some times for him to be here to really talk about what is going on with South Carolina Comicon, get you guys all apprised of how you can get your ticket. Well, you can get your tickets right now at the box office at Greenville Convention Center or at Borderlands Comics and Games, 410 South Pleasant Brook Drive. I don't know. I believe there's probably still VIP passes and things like that. Even if you just buy your regular pass and get in there, you're going to have a good time. And this thing is huge. So many things you can see, so many things you can do at South Carolina Comicon. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to get to the bracket. During the break, we're going to get Matthew up on the stream. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we will. And This is the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. I'm going to come around there and get my email up because I copied
No, I
it.
know. I was about to say. I'm about to scoot on it.
He's scooting. He done scooted.
How are you?
I didn't mean to actually move this far. Those wheels are deceptive, aren't they? They are.
All right. Let's do this. Hold this for a moment, please. Hi.
Can you pull up the text line on my laptop as well? I don't know where to go for that.
I
I know you told me a long time ago.
I mean, I can send you the link, but you
That
have
also
to have your own. You have to have your own login now. It's a little more complicated.
Oh.
Yeah. Can't just type in the same name.
Oh, there it is.
I feel like that would just enhance.
He is not. He is not, Duda Bros. He is not in a furry costume.
Time
No.
for the reveal.
What?
He says, if Matthew is in a furry costume, so help me.
No. God, no.
Mute yourself.
They all put a funny.
Oops.
Pressing all the wrong buttons.
I pressed FN. So I went to F1 instead of actually hitting the mute.
I also have Elimination Chamber going on my iPad just cause. And I see someone who I've interviewed. Unfortunately, out of all the members in the Elimination Chamber for the women, I've only interviewed one to work on that.
Yeah.
I would love to interview Liv Morgan or, well, any of them actually.
No one is going to understand my joke, but that's okay.
I think I get it.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is?
I think you're blending Pokemon and Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got it.
It's Incineroar.
Ah. He's also in Smash Brothers, isn't he?
Incineroar is in Smash, yeah.
Okay. Hated him.
All right. I guess I was wrong. I guess tickets don't go on sale till March 7th. My wife just sent me a thing. Oops. Well, it's going to be soon. Oh, what? Why is she in there? Can I do what? Jay Cargill just showed up and is beating the mess out of Naomi, which means Naomi's actually the one who attacked her.
By the way, it looks like you're out of it and you're just like squatting on imaginary fly.
Did I not get you down to what you wanted to see?
I know. I was curious.
Okay. All right.
You're like a lackadaisical cat.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why the texter said Summer Glau, but I know who that is.
What about Summer Glau?
Yeah.
What about other Cameron?
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo here, along with Matthew and Cameron. We are getting ready to get into the Upstate Pulse toy bracket. We're in the middle of the, third round. able to get this down to the number one toy for this here program. And let me tell you, here's what I would do if I were you. If I was out there listening, I was thinking, man, I really want to participate in this thing. If there's a tie, I know how this tiebreaker thing works. I think I'll just type in 800-905-0989 into my phone and save it as a favorite. Because then I've already got it in there. I don't have to try to type that in every single time. And I would, you know what, if I were out there listening, I would label it word pulse. That's what I would label it. Not word Tara, not word Frady, not word Charlie, but word pulse.
I have a suggestion.
Don't do that. No, not word Pappy, not word. Well, if you want to go word Pappy, that's fine. As long as you go word first. So you're not going through your phone, or your wife going through your phone. Who's this? Or your husband going through your phone. Who's word Pappy? Who is that? I mean, who's word Matthew? I don't know who that is. And then you can say, but you do. Let you listen to this wonderful, wonderful program. But anyway,
Only
so
the most prolific Saturday show of all time.
Yes, it's been here for many years, like over a decade. So if we have a tie, we will ask you to text into that number, 800-905-0989, and let us know who you think should go through. And you may say, but you only got 3 people. How can you get a tie? Well, that's not true. There it is. There's my Rod Brown list from the Rod Brown Show, 97.7 in Greenville, 97.1 in Spartanburg. Listen to it Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. The number one sports show in the state of South Carolina. I also just happen to be a co-host on that, so you should check that out. All right, let us get to our next matchup as I try to figure out.
Before we get into the matchup, we mentioned last segment about questioning where Stomping Ground comes from, and I have the answer to that. If we're
I want to know. I definitely want to know.
So according to languagelore.net, the term stomping grounds actually is a derivative of the term stamping grounds, which is the actual term you would use, but is used less and less nowadays. And it refers to the original meaning being a place where animals habitually gathered and would stamp out the ground to mark their territory and things like that.
Okay.
So that's where it originated from.
All right, I get it. So that makes a lot of sense. So I did a lot of stamping back in the state of Ohio. So that could be
marking your territory.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of stamping happens.
South side of Columbus, territory was marked. It's probably worn away by now. All right, let's get to our first matchup, which is Bionicles. I can't believe Bionicles has made it this far. I really cannot.
Why are you saying it like that?
Just because I think it's kind of a Cinderella so far. It's kind of a Cinderella. Yeah, okay, all right, that's fine. Of course, you guys are of the generation of the Bionicles, and that's fine. I purchased many Bionicles, so I know how popular they were.
Well, thank you, Dad.
Bionicles is going up. So Bionicles, if you don't know what they are, and this is your first time tuning in a while, Bionicle is made by Lego, I believe, and it's like robots and things that you'll put together. And you could even mix and match them and make big robots and things.
I was going to say that was part of the fun. Is like you had the standard stuff of like you can make it into like a singular robot, or you can do what me and I believe Matthew did and create gigantic.
Don't make me block you, Junior Bros. Yeah, it's definitely it's a really cool. It's going up against a stick. Now a stick, you may say, did you buy the stick? No, you didn't buy the stick. You walked out in the yard. Hey, look, there's a stick. You pick the stick up. You hit your sister with it. It's a sword or a bow staff or something. You can pretend like it's a gun. You're shooting at birds. You can pretend like it's a lightsaber. You can pretend like a stick is a baton, and you can practice being the leader of the best band in the entire world, the Ohio State Marching Band. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with a stick. You can hold it up and pretend like it's a microphone as you interview the squirrels. I mean,
or it could be a microphone stand, and you're killing it on your rock and roll performance.
There you go. A stick can be a lot of things.
It could even, depending on the stick, be something that you use as a walking stick.
You could do that
while hiking.
Or
that's what I like to do.
Or a wizard staff.
Or if it just happened to have a little bit of a thing on the end of it, you can turn it into a couple things. You can turn it into a slingshot. You can turn it into a divining rod. I don't think those work, but you can pretend. I pretended like they worked when I was a kid.
They do not.
Of course, I tried to find water. I mean, who didn't do that? Or they could be a hoopak. And if you know what that is, then you are a fan of Weiss and Hickman.
Stick guides me.
Yes. All right. So Bionicles versus Stick. Cameron, who do you have?
I have to go with Bionicles.
Of course you would. I don't
Go
blame
with my heart.
I don't blame you. I don't. All right, Matthew.
I'm right there with you, Cameron. I got to go with the Bionicles. I love Sticks, but Bionicles, man, they're pretty awesome.
Sticks are fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved Sticks when I was a kid.
All right, Rob Brown of the Rob Brown Show went with Stick. And so we've got 2 Bionicles. We got 1 Stick. I loved buying Bionicles, but I didn't really play with Bionicles. You know what I play with? Play with a stick. I played with the stick. I still could, to this day, go out with my granddaughter and play with sticks and pretend like whatever we're pretending like. We're catching Pokemon with sticks because we don't have balls, okay? Pokeballs. We don't have Pokeballs. All right, so here's what
I think
we
that's when
got.
you just pick up a pine cone or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude,
something a little more spherical.
Well, you know,
There's some poor hypothetical Pikachu out
listen,
there.
Listen.
Pika.
Listen, there's a Togepi. It's in the bushes. I'm trying to get it out, okay? I'm using the stick. I'm getting the Togepi out. All right, anyway.
I think we're delving into animal abuse territory.
No. It's just trying to.
I think stick needs to be banned.
I never said that I was going to hit the Togepi. Okay.
Well, what are you doing with the sticks to catch them?
He's talking about throwing stuff. This is animal abuse. I think we need to cancel stick.
All right, Peter. All right, so we have a tie. We have a tie between Stick and Bionicles. Again, text line is 800-905-0989. When Matthew gives the countdown in just a moment, the first person to text through, that's what we'll go through, either Stick or Bionicles. Matthew, give them the countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, the first person who texts either Bionicle or Stick, that's what goes through. And we'll see. I can't believe we started out with a tie between Stick and Bionicle. Again, the text line is 800-905-0989. And if we don't get a text fast enough, I have a tiebreaker over there already filled out, but we got it. And Stick got through just barely ahead of someone typed in word Upstate Pulse Bionicles. You didn't even have to type all that. Maybe if you just typed Bionicles, maybe I confused you by saying all that other stuff.
Still, God bless you.
Yeah, yes. So Stick goes through.
You know, if I had a nickel for every time that I gave a countdown on the radio for a competition with a stick, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Well, you know, and here's the other thing. I think you probably lost both times too.
I did.
Yeah, there we go.
Stop giving the countdown, Matthew.
Well, it's my fault. It's not nearly as bad as Rob Brown's record as far as getting things wrong. I don't believe he's ever gotten anything right.
Well, he doesn't really know how to appeal to the
we can't, yeah, because people automatically vote against him. That's true. All right, our next matchup, we'll get this through before we take our next break.
The worst part about Stick winning is that we're about to have to hear this freaking Stick song again
No!
Not today. No,
Not today, but
he's
next
not
week.
here next week.
Oh, he isn't?
No,
Let's
he's not
finish this
here.
bracket next week.
He requested off next week. So
I can hear it in my head, though.
I know.
I
It's
forgot
in
all.
my soul.
Listen, I forgot all about the Stick song till you mentioned it. But I've had a headache for a week, so it's easy. There's just a lot of snot rolling around in there. All right, our next matchup is Nerf. When I say Nerf, it could be a Nerf football, could be a Nerf gun, which we use quite a bit here. We haven't used one in a while.
I still need to buy that Nerf bazooka. There's a Nerf rocket launcher.
I nearly bought the Nerf bow and arrow yesterday. Not just a manual bow and arrow. I mean, not the one that shoots out arrows, but the manual one. So Nerf going up
we're not talking
against
like a Helsing like repeater crossbow.
I know they probably make those. More than likely,
like one of those.
Yeah,
too.
that would be kind of cool and probably would hurt. So Nerf is going up against a Frisbee. By the way, I love that Goose voted for Stick on the stream and his picture is a goose. I mean, it's awesome. It's a nice blue background with a goose. I really like that.
We have a wide audience.
Yes. Wide audience. Yes, wide.
I'm a little tired.
All right. Nerf versus Frisbee. I'm going to go first and go with Nerf. Matthew, what do you got?
I've also got to go with Nerf.
All right. Cameron.
It's Nerf. Or nothing.
Nerf for nothing. And let's see.
What did Rob Brown say?
Rob Brown also went with Nerf. So it is a queen sweep. And
also
yes, I
known
said
as a queen.
No, it's a queen sweep. It's absolutely a queen sweep. And that was
You tell him, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, what did you get?
That was a Tyson version right there. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the bracket. By the way, we're also continuing with the show on the stream. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're live on X at either 98.9 WRD or the Upstate Pulse. Speaking of the Upstate Pulse, that's what you're listening to right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of Carolinas.
More than normal. Maybe a little bit.
Just under the cheeks.
We got windburn.
Could have. That wind.
Because I feel that right now.
Also with Dragonball Daima. So yesterday was the final episode for the subs.
Yeah.
On the anniversary of Toriyama's passing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
And I'm excited for y'all to eventually get through the series and get to the
you know what?
The end.
We did this last week. We did this last week. But it ended up being the same. So we're going to skip over to the other one. I thought that looked kind of weird. My bad. Told you I've had a headache.
No.
See? Look, we had already did that. And I just didn't fill it out. I thought I did. But
the Bionicles versus the what we just did.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought we did that.
Yeah, we had already did that. My bad.
So did we just throw out everything we just did?
No, because the same things went through that went through
say,
last
we
week.
The same things,
so we've found consistency. I apologize. Screwed up.
Are we in a glitch in the Matrix or
No, I just messed up. At least I figured it out. I mean, we could have kept going and I didn't have to tell anybody. But
I just assumed that I remembered wrong.
Yeah, it was my bad. It has been a really rough week around here. Lots of people calling in sick and things like that. And it was just, I screwed up.
Things were not well in the building.
I could have kept going. No one would have known until we got to D&D. And then it would be like, hey, didn't we already do this?
Yeah.
It's all right. We're going to jump to the other side.
D&D beat Batman.
It's okay. We're going to jump to the other side.
It was awesome.
Well, it was bittersweet. But
was it a bittersweet symphony?
I do listen to that a little too much.
That's life. I like that song.
No, I said I listened to it a little too much.
Oh, okay.
Meaning I like it. Also got to hear it in probably the best way possible, which was like at like USC when I was a kid. You and I went to the Gamecock football game. Just hearing it echo through.
I forgot all about that.
Underneath the sands and stuff.
That's cool. It's a cool memory.
It's a core memory. Yeah, Trey, I was kind of surprised at how good that was.
Oh, Dave, you might have a point there. Is that a noobable offense?
He does bring up a good point, but your head has been hurting a lot.
That's no excuse. Already changed the colors. It was kind of hard to find, but I found it. He's right. It is a noobable offense, and I shall noob myself. I'm so ashamed. Not really ashamed. You know what's bothering me right now, though? So we went to Whataburger for the first time, and went heavy on the onions, I think, and it's causing me some problems right now.
I'm also feeling that too.
Yeah.
I wish y'all had told me y'all were gonna do Whataburger. I would have joined, so that we could talk about it.
Well, you were kind of here late tonight. Well, but you would have came there and then left.
Yeah, if you had texted me and
I know,
said, hey,
I know. My
we
bad.
just assume you're not gonna.
He went to the barbecue place.
Yeah, literally. If you text me, hey, we're gonna do this, maybe I won't go, but I mean, there's always a chance that I will.
You have brought up a great point, and in the future, I will make sure that we do that. Half the time, we don't decide what we're doing until we get here.
Oh yeah. It's also important to note that I live 5 minutes away. So.
Which I know that, and I should have brought that up.
Yeah. Push the button.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo here, along with Matthew and Cameron. Hey, I made a mistake. And when you make a mistake on this program, you are due something. And thanks to, I think it was Dave, Viper Dave, pointing this out, that I need to do something for myself, and I will do it. And then I'll tell you why I need to do it. That's a classic noob. Shout out to Zach Adams for that. So we did that part of the of the bracket last week. So and I can use the excuse of sickness, but that's no excuse. It is a reason, but it's not an excuse. I messed up, and so I fixed it. So now we're going to jump to the other side where we should have been in the first place. That is not noobable. I had to get a bed in there. By the way, not used to running this board still yet because I've probably run it like a total of 7 or 8 times. Really far apart. I thought I'd have to run it a couple times this week. All right, let's jump to the other side and go with Hot Wheels. Those cars, whatever kind of cars you had, those little Hot Wheel cars. Some people, like my cousins who might be watching, they would catch them on fire and said they were in a wreck. I'm like, yeah, but I was thinking, I never said it to them because not that they would beat me up or anything, but those things cost money. You just caught it on fire, but I guess it could always be the wrecked car, but they would get it, and it's hard to mess those up, but they managed to find a way to do that. So, Hot Wheels of all different types, whether it's a truck or it even had, I think, Hot Wheel motorcycles and planes and stuff, but anything Hot Wheels going up against Super Soaker, the most amazing, fantastic water gun of them all, the Super Soaker. And I have never owned a Super Soaker. And I just realized I have never owned a Super Soaker that I remember. If we may have had
something you need to rectify.
We may have had some generic ones, but I've never had a Super Soaker. Yeah, I got to rectify that. I need a Super Soaker. My granddaughter needs to know what a Super Soaker is.
Yep. And by proxy, her grandma.
Not only because I plan on spraying her with a Super Soaker, but she can spray her grandma. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Granddaughter, by the way, measured her today. She's 4'5". 4'5".
Oh, Lord.
And she's 6 years old. So, I mean, there you go. So Hot Wheels versus Super Soaker. I am going to go with Super Soaker. Cameron, what you got?
I'm going to go with Hot Wheels.
Wow. Look at that. Matthew.
I was a big Hot Wheels kid, and I've got to give an extra shout out to the Hot Wheels movie. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it or even heard of it.
No.
But it's bomb, and y'all should see it because I watched it so much as a kid. I loved the. It was the world race.
Movie?
Huh?
Was that like a direct to like VHS or DVD?
Probably.
Movie?
I doubt it went to theaters.
All right.
I'm trying to recall here.
Unironically, a good movie.
By the way, Texter says, Lonzo, what if we took the Frisbee and coated it with aluminum, then added an underbody attachment kit and a titanium rim plus a launcher that spins it 100 miles an hour before launching it? I would say you're an engineer. That's what I would say.
Also, somebody's going to be missing some limbs.
Yeah, it'd be like that kid with the stainless steel boomerang in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. The guy tried to catch it and he lost like all his fingertips. By the way, Rob Brown of the Rob Brown Show also goes with Hot Wheels. So Hot Wheels go through and defeat the Super Soaker. Our next matchup is Power Rangers versus a cardboard box. Okay, so Power Rangers, everything Power Rangers, whether it's a action figures or the masks, or maybe you were into Zordon, which is kind of weird. I mean, and what's the robot's name? I forget the robot's name.
Oh, I don't remember his name, but I just remember.
Yeah. I don't remember his name. If anyone remembers it, text line is 800-905-0989, or tell me on the stream what is Zordon's, the robot dude. I don't remember. Anyway.
Robot assistant.
Yes. Once you say it, it'll be like, oh man, I should have remembered that. So Hot Wheels already went through, but we're going Power Rangers versus cardboard box. Cardboard box. People are like, when Matthew hasn't been here a couple of times, we believed he was in the cardboard box somewhere, just hiding, just waiting.
I do have a lot of cardboard boxes at my house.
There we go. There we go. So you
I
got to
kinda
practice.
come-
You got to practice. You can't just jump into the cardboard box and use it as camouflage or a place to hide without doing a little practice.
Oh, yes. My dad actually made. I still remember this because he works at a bank, so he has all those massive boxes of paper that they come in that are just like really large boxes, and so we use them for moving and stuff whenever we do stuff too. But back when I was a kid, one time when we went to his place of work, he put them all together into a big cardboard little playpen type thing. I don't know how to describe it, but like I don't, that just random memory unlock.
So I'm guessing you're going with cardboard box.
I gotta go with you know what? Power Rangers are really cool, but I gotta go with cardboard box.
So
All
I
right.
figured the Matthew portion of him would be fine with that, but I also figured that another person would also be down for that too.
Yeah.
One with an eye patch.
Cameron, cardboard box or Power Rangers?
This is a tough one for me, but I think I'm going to go with Power Rangers.
I don't blame you. I remember taking you to the drive-in to see that first Power Rangers movie, which Secret of the that's
No, I'm pretty sure it was Secret
was,
of the Ooze.
yeah. I keep thinking that's
no,
that's
is
Ninja Turtles.
That's Ninja Turtles.
It had
There's
something to do with
Ooze in
Ooze.
there.
Ivan Ooze
Ivan
was
Ooze
the
is
bad
the main
guy.
bad guy.
Yeah.
They had the purple ooze monster.
He did. He absolutely did. All right. Rob Brown has went with cardboard box. So we have 2 cardboard boxes and a Power Rangers. Sorry, there will be no tie. I'm going cardboard box.
Oh no!
Because Power Rangers, here's why I'm going against Power Rangers.
You put the Power Rangers in the
No.
cardboard box.
Power Rangers to me is a copy of Voltron. They will never be Voltron. Okay. All right. Voltron was better than Power Rangers any day.
To be fair, they're kind of just all the Sentai. They're all Japanese Sentai that are just localized.
No,
but yeah.
I get it. I get it. But I always liked, I got made fun of for Voltron. And in the end, that one smug Power Ranger thought he was going to be on the air. And I did not let him because he was so cocky, man.
Why?
I don't care. I was told that I'm a bad guy for not letting him on, but I didn't do it. I'm going cardboard
years
box.
you've defended this decision, but
I-
nobody has brought
because
it up.
because it's a heel move by me, and I don't normally do that stuff.
You don't normally do heel moves.
No, that's just a radio thing. I just not in real life. I feel bad about that stuff. I don't feel bad about that though. How many times have I brought that up? I do not feel bad about that. Sometimes
Well,
you
you keep bringing that up as if you do feel bad about it.
No, I'm bringing it up to brag about it. All right, we're gonna take a
Technically,
break.
They're all just copies of Kamen Rider.
Are they? I thought it was what was the name? Battle of the Planets. You sure they're not copies of Battle of the Planets?
Kamen Rider is the the iconic Sentai character. So
Well, I will take your word for it. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back,
What now?
we're gonna finish. We're gonna keep going. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
I don't know.
What is this Sentai you speak of?
I don't know
Sorry,
what it-
Odie's music was just throwing me off.
I don't know what it actually stands for.
Hope
I
it isn't
think
like
it's just, I think it just means
anything
like
bad.
superhero or something, but I could be wrong. That's just me assuming. I don't know
Hope it ain't
Japanese.
Nothing bad.
Oh, you know what assumptions do.
What they say.
Task Force Fighting Group Squadron. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know which was the first of the group of 5 coming together to fight crime. I think it was Battle of the Planets.
5's a good number for that too. Because then they can split off and do tasks.
The first Super Sentai team was the Go Rangers between 1975 and 77.
Find out when Battle of the Planets came out. And I don't know if you know what it is. You should look at it. They didn't have robots, though. They had their capes were like wings. But it's like the same group that ends up being Voltron.
78.
Okay. So around the same time Speed Racer came out and stuff like that.
Did they also have a really good dub like Speed Racer did?
I was like, what? He said 78. So I was 10. I don't remember. It was a long time ago when I was 10. I'm just glad I remember them. Actually, Rob Young and I have had conversations about Battle of the Planets before. So, because I couldn't remember who they were, and he remembered who they were, because he and I are about the same age. I'm maybe 2 years older, something like that.
Wait, is Battle of the Planets an American series as well, though?
It said it was, but it looked.
It looks like
It
anime.
just looks like standard 80s styles.
I thought it was anime, but again, when I was watching, I didn't know what anime was. Just like I watched Speed Racer, I didn't know it was from Japan.
Yep. Oh, wait.
I think when you're a really little kid, you don't care. It's just like, oh, that's cool. I want to watch that.
Well, it had an anime tag I just noticed on IMDb, so maybe it is Japanese.
Battle of the Planets premiered in September of 1978 and was the first English language adaptation of Science Ninja Team Gotcha Man, a popular anime for many kids. It was the first glimpse at the vibrant world of Japanese animation.
Cool. That's actually a really cool piece of history. So it was the first English localization of a Japanese property, or of a Japanese anime property specifically.
And I was there.
You saw the first dub.
I was there.
I was there.
I remember it like it was. No, I don't. I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't remember 10. Back when my hair was completely white, and now my hair is going to turn completely white. So, I mean,
Started white, you ended white.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I prefer white to gray anyway. Not that if you have gray, there's anything wrong with it. Unless you're 20. And that's just too young to get gray hair.
What, you Steve Martin?
Yeah. Wow, I think she just won that. Huh.
Well, I don't know about that one.
Oh.
I don't know about that one.
That's it. Well, maybe they were thinking about it. Different history, maybe?
Yes, even though Odie is not here, we can still have the club.
Oh, yeah.
We can dance in the club. We can dance if you want to. We can leave your friends behind.
What if your friends don't dance? What? I think I screwed that up.
No, this is about.
If your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, and they're no friends.
No friends of mine.
You see, when Odie does this, it makes me cringe. When y'all do it, it just makes me sad.
Why are you sad, Matthew? You should be dancing with us.
Because Odie's not here. Or that our accents are so bad. It doesn't matter. I think it might have been the latter, not the former. Let us get back into this.
Doing all the hating outside is a club. You can't even get in.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, obviously you've had some episodes with some bouncers where they went, no kid.
No hatred.
No kid.
Only pity.
Okay. All right. Our next matchup is a classic matchup. It's going to be a difficult choice right here. We got trains. I talked about last week about a place called Kosai where you could go see like a room full of trains. It's really awesome. Matthew talked about trains.
Dad?
What? It's not trains though. It's Transformers.
Yes.
Wow. I'll get it ready. I'm not doing it now. That'll be two. That'll be two. That's what I get for not being able to read my scribble. See, there's the scribble right there. I scribbled. See, I scribbled.
Why don't you have the one that you like printed out that you gave us? Because you have it like filled out on ours.
Yeah, well, I do, but it's okay. It's all right.
We're gonna get through this. Show.
Okay.
This
Transformers.
This is the brain damage timeline.
Transformers. Hey, I got I got hit a lot in the head. Transformers versus a ball. What kind of ball? it's a bouncy ball. It's a baseball. It's a football. It's a basketball.
A dodgeball?
It could be a dodgeball, which I may have taken one to the head before the show started. I don't know. And anyone thinking that I might be on something, nope.
I thought
I
they
just
kinda
had a headache for a week, literally a week. And I can't take anything because it takes my edge off. And I don't want to go, bro. Hey, today we're going to talk about like some balls. Yeah, so I don't want to do that. Transformers versus a ball. Cameron, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Transformers.
Matthew.
I gotta go with the Transformers.
All right, so let us see. Rob Brown of the Rob Brown Show went with a ball. I am going with Transformers, so there is no tie. Let me write that out.
Makes
really
sense
good.
for Rob because that's what most of his career revolves around.
It does. He's also a Transformers fan, but I think he's anti-Shia LaBeouf. All right, the next matchup that we're going to do, and the final matchup of the day, because we're going to move on to some other stuff and get to the last one next week, is playing cards versus X-Men. Cameron, why should we pick whichever one you're going to pick?
You know what? X-Men has a lot of colorful characters. And Gambit is one of those characters. You know what Gambit uses? Cards. So, hey, it encompasses that too. So you might as well go with X-Men.
Is that what you're going with,
Very
Cameron?
roundabout.
I am very much going with X-Men.
You're going with X-Men.
Also, I had like a Wolverine beat 'em up toy that I really enjoyed.
All right, really quick.
Oh, what a noob. Total noob. Classic noob.
Hopefully that's the last one of the day. All right.
Up to 2.
Yeah, that's up to 2. Listen, I know I'm going downhill here. I would really, really, really have to have a total meltdown in the next hour and 7 minutes for me to even come close to the record.
What's
Okay.
the record now?
7, isn't it? Or is
I think
it
it's
6?
7.
Okay, I thought it
We're
was
gonna
6.
go with 7.
Odie holds that.
He's not here, so we're gonna say it's 7. All right, so Cameron went with X-Men. Matthew, playing cards or X-Men?
X-Men are really cool, but I've absolutely got to go with playing cards.
Wow. Rob Brown of the Rob Brown Show surprisingly went with playing cards. Plays a gambler, play poker guy, all that kind of stuff. So it's not a surprise. So Cameron went with X-Men. Matthew went with playing cards.
He kind of is just off-brand Gambit.
Rob Brown. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. He went totally against. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Gambit is his favorite. He named his dog Remy LeBeau. And he went with playing cards over X-Men. Wow. Think I'm having a bad day.
About X-Men toys, though. So maybe he didn't really care for X-Men toys specifically.
That's a good point. We have a tie, though. I'm going with X-Men. So X-Men or cards, it is up to you, the listener, to let us know what is going through whenever Cameron gives you the countdown. You will text either X-Men or cards to 800-905-0989. Cameron, give them the countdown.
A 3, a 2, a 1.
All right, the next one who texts through either cards or X-Men, that will be what goes through in the bracket. Cards or X-Men, and X-Men is going through. All right, there we go. So X-Men has defeated cards. I am going to shame Rob Brown Monday. And I think I invite you guys to join me in shaming Rob Brown about picking that over that. Come on, dude. It's your guy. And you do. I'm just really shocked.
It's your boy.
It is your boy. At least think about your dog, man. All right. Coming up in the next hour, we are going to a bunch of DC news dropped about new shows, new movies. Some are being put on the back burner. Some are being brought forward. We also are going to break down the latest episode of Dragonball Daima, which Matthew pointed out something very interesting that we're going to talk about. A couple of deaths, including one that's really sketchy. We are going to also break down the latest episode of Invincible, which is, dude, it's messed up. It's really messed up. Even though you knew something was going to happen, it's still it still was messed up. We got some video games to talk about. I've been spending way too much time with Avowed, and even though Matthew hasn't played it, I have a question for all gamers, and I want to know if I'm the only one who has this problem. The new Monster Hunter just came out. Cameron's been playing that, and we got Nerd Roundtable. We got a ton of other things to talk about, but I also want to talk about Borderlands Comics and Games, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville. So if you are someone who's into comic books, you're into Funko Pops, you're into Dungeons and Dragons, you're into manga, depending on if you're me or Matthew. If you're into vintage video games, or you're into maybe collect Pokemon, they've got you covered. Not only does Borderlands Comics and Games have you covered with all that stuff, obviously they have comic books, not only recent comic books, but they have vintage comic books that you can get. And back in the back, they have these things. They're called gaming tables. And people actually come, they have tournaments there for like Warhammer and Star Wars and things like that, where people come in, they set up, they have a good time, and they just go back in there and they play. And that's really good. Now, I believe on Thursdays, they're open really late because it's a gaming night and a lot of people come in there and game. So if you want to go to a place where you're going to feel right at home, where you're not going to feel out of place, where you can have a conversation with some random guy who wants to talk to you about One Piece, that's the place to go. It's a place where I feel comfortable. And if I feel comfortable there, you will too, because I'm not exactly a people guy. My brain goes blank even more so than it has this wonderful evening when certain people talk to me. So you should check that out. Go to Borderlands Comics and Games and get you some comics and games. And as I said earlier on in the hour, Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games and South Carolina Comicon will be joining the show in 2 weeks to talk about everything that's going on with the con and the guests and the artist, John Romita Jr. That's a big name. You know, last year, they're getting bigger names as far as artists go every year and big guests. And I told him, I really want to interview Vicki Lawrence. I mean, you know, I just do. I'd be a nervous wreck, but my mom, that would be such a big deal for her if I was able to interview Vicki Lawrence. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, that would be really cool. All right. We are going to take our top of the hour break. When we get back, we're going to get into all those things, including, like I said, we're going to start off talking a little bit of Invincible. And there's some stuff that comes out next week that I cannot wait to see, things that we are looking forward to. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here. Why don't you tell a friend about us? I know we've been here for 11 years, but tell someone about us. I mean, we've been on this signal, I think, for a year, maybe 2, maybe 25. I don't know.
Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell an acquaintance.
Tell somebody.
Tell everybody.
The more friends you tell that listen to this show and tune into this show, the more I let Pappy talk. So, I mean,
Let me out of the box.
There's incentive right there. We let Pappy out the box if you get some more people to listen and to watch and get our numbers up. Usually don't beg for that sort of thing. I'm not really begging. I just want to see if it'll work. How many people want to see Pappy? I don't know. This is the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of Carolinas.
Well, sadly, Dunabros, Q isn't going to be there.
Hey, you know, I'm sorry. All right.
Are you all right?
At least you didn't have your headphones on. Okay.
I think you took some thunder damage from that, Matthew. So, Chris, are you going more of a good guy playthrough or bad guy playthrough? Because I mean, I feel like it's kind of cut and dry as far as like what to do with that from a moral standpoint.
Man, what a bad time I'm having. What is going on? Really mad at me.
Who's mad at you?
I'm mad at me.
Oh, you said they.
Jonathan Frakes is going to be there, yeah, Duna Bros, and so is Brent Spiner. Unfortunately, Q's not going to be there.
I think Frakes is still good to go.
Yeah, he is. So is Spiner. So at least you got
Yeah.
You got some of the bridge on there. You got some of the good guys there. I don't know. I think Jonathan Frakes is intimidating.
Especially the way he sits in chairs.
Yeah, he's just intimidating.
Well,
he probably isn't in real life, but he seems intimidating.
All I can think of is just like the cuts that people made of that one TV show that he had. Do you want spoilers, Chris? Well, it's like a month or so away, Dino Bros.
It's a month away. It's exactly a month away.
That's right. That's right. It's like on the 5th and 6th, right?
Yep.
So, Chris, as far as like going with Char, like letting her go with Char, things will go bad for a lot of people.
Depends on what you're into, though.
I mean, if you want everybody at the end of the last light to die, go ahead.
You probably shouldn't have spoiled that, but
Yeah.
it's too late now. What are you doing?
What? He said sure.
Okay, but there may be other people. That game's been out for a year, though.
Well, the other thing is that also ties in with Isabel, too, but it's more.
Isabel got on my nerves.
Eh.
I didn't like the makeup, I think, bothered me. The cryy makeup. She's also kind of a snot.
She did not seem like that to me at all.
Yeah, she was. I mean, you know.
It's always funny to see different people's reactions.
I just saved your life. Have a little more gratitude.
One of my favorite reactions was a buddy of mine who I played D&D with, and I have played Destiny with him for several years. He hates Volo. Like he hates.
We work with Volo. We work with Volo.
Yes.
He works here. You know what I'm talking about.
I think I do.
And if Matthew thought about it, he'd know who I'm talking about too. Volo works here. He's a producer. He was out sick this week, part of the week. When I first came upon him in the Druid place, it was like, hey, and then he started talking, and I was like, I knew that was him because it's exactly how he talks. So I'm not gonna point out who that is, but definitely him. Yes, she did, Chris. Absolutely. She had daddy issues.
Also, she didn't ask. Well, I shouldn't spoil anything else.
Yeah. Now I'm just picturing him in a hat. I bet he has that hat. I bet he does. I bet he has that hat in storage. No doubt he has that hat. I beat that game several times in a bunch of different ways. But since they put the new endings out, I've only beat it once. I was close to beating it again. And then Avowed came out, which I've been looking forward to. So I've been playing Avowed. So I'll go back to it and finish it. Also, I'm going to beat it as a bad guy without making a certain choice at the end, just to see what happens. I'm still going to kill something.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do that last time.
We can talk about it later.
I took it over instead of killing it.
Yeah. It's still technically the good guy ending if you kill it.
I don't know. Not if you're a bad guy. All right, in my playthrough now, I am Dark Urge and have accepted the gift. And Shadowheart went straight up evil. The worst thing that you could do. Astarion.
So you have fed into the id of everybody.
Yeah. This is all bad. But still gonna kill the thing at the end and see what happens. Because I don't know what happens. Do you still take over the city? What happens?
You'll see.
Oh, so you've done that?
No, I've been spoiled about it.
Okay, well I haven't. Even after I don't know. And plus, there's been new endings put in with the package.
Yeah, they added some more stuff
Yeah.
for all of it, including like going the Dark Urge route.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the Upstate Pulse. Alonzo here, along with Matthew and Cameron. Odie is away this week. He'll be away again next week. Hopefully, he'll be back in a couple of weeks. Want to remind you, in those couple of weeks, I believe it's on the 15th, Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games, South Carolina Comicon, will be here live in studio to talk about the con and comic books and a bunch of other stuff, because he's into all the stuff that we're into. We always have a good time when Rob is here. He couldn't be here this week because he's in Ohio at the Arnold Classic. I don't know why he's at the Arnold, but he's there. I mean, I always thought he went.
We've known that he's gone like several years.
Yeah,
We've never asked him why.
I don't know if I've ever asked him, and if I have, I forget. So he will be back in town soon and be on this here program. If you want to be a part of the show,
He's reaching for the paper.
well, part of it is I'm having trouble breathing too. It's just because of the headache. Text line is 800-905-0989. I'm sorry, I don't have it memorized. Okay.
I don't have.
I do a ton of stuff on the station still, but I'm only on the air on Saturday. So I'm using that as an excuse. On the fan, I don't have that one memorized either. I don't know. It's an age thing. Anyway, text line is going nuts with people trying to vote in the bracket, which we are done with for today. But you can still text us and text Flaccid just because you can. Spell it with as many C's, Z's, or S's as you want. Text line 800-905-0989. We are also live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. We're live on X at either 98.9 WRD or the Upstate Pulse. People keep getting on me about trying Rumble, but I just don't think this show fits on Rumble. And I've never been on Rumble, and I stay away from politics. I have my own politics, but I prefer to have fun. So we're probably going to stay off of that. Coming up in this hour, we're going to talk video games. We're going to talk about Avowed. We're going to talk Monster Hunter, talk about a game that's being delayed for a year and whether we think that's a good or bad thing. We got Nerd Roundtable coming up. But first, let us talk about the latest episode of Dragonball Daima.
So I was just trying to remember which episode y'all were watching, and then I immediately remembered just a second ago, y'all were watching the Tamagami fight.
Yes. Which is just completed.
Yes.
So I will say, if you haven't watched this yet and you can find a way to watch it, we watch it on Crunchyroll. I think it might be on Hulu too, but I'm not positive. But I don't know if the English dub is on Hulu. I believe the Japanese dub is. You should watch this show, especially if you're a Dragon Ball fan of any type. It takes you back. It really does. There's a nostalgia to it. Just seeing Goku as a young kid. I mean, still Goku. He's still, and this happens right after the Buu saga, and they're in the demon world, and just watching how quickly he adjusts to the atmosphere and all those things, and how shocked everyone is in the demon world about how strong he is. And
Here's the thing. He is the biggest monster there.
He might very well be the biggest monster there. So there are only 3 Dragon Balls, and Dende has been kidnapped, and he is now a baby because of a wish. They're all kids, and anyone who was a kid is a baby. So Dende is a baby. He's been kidnapped.
Got babyfied.
There's a bad guy in their midst, and of course they already know it. They're already suspecting Gordito, whatever his name is.
Granola.
Yes, something with a G.
Goma.
Yeah. It's no. We're talking. We understand. We're just joking. Because Goku can't get the guy's name right.
Oh, you're talking about Glorio.
Yeah, we're talking about Glorio.
Yeah,
Yes.
Talking about Goma.
Yeah.
No, we were doing that as a gag.
Yeah, and so I'm curious. The English dub, they make the girl, her name's Pansy. Is she called that in Japanese?
Yeah.
So it's a direct translation. I know all of these characters are like a food. There's some kind of food. Is Pansy a food?
I think it's just a flower then.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure all the demons are named after flowers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Pansy is named after a flower.
Since apparently Supreme Kai is a fruit.
Yep.
It's a good show. It really is a good show. It's one of those where I can't wait till the next week to see what happens next. And I know I could find out because the Japanese version is already out there, but
And in fact, the final episode just aired yesterday on the anniversary of Toriyama's passing. And it was a fantastic time.
So you say the final episode, like there's only going to be one
It's
season?
20 episodes. We don't know anything about if there's going to be any more, but
Well, I think if I'm not going to keep, I don't want to know.
Well, I think the other thing
'Cause-
is like this is like a prequel story, so how much more are they going to fit in between the end of Z and then the beginning of Super?
True.
assuming
That's
it
where
fits
this
in.
is.
I said, assuming it fits in.
So you don't
Sure.
you don't think this is I don't know. All I know is if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. I cannot wait. So we don't know this, but I'm guessing that Vegeta is going to try to go get the next one before Goku gets there because it just would make sense.
It just makes sense.
Yeah,
for me.
and I don't know why. I don't know why Piccolo's there. So I can't wait to find out why Piccolo's actually there. Does he get to fight or is he just there?
Well, I mean, the other Namekian
And Matthew can't
is-
tell us because it would.
Hey, Piccolo got his own movie. Remember, guys?
Yeah, but that's way later than this.
Piccolo got his own movie.
Okay,
That was
well,
a good movie.
Piccolo got his own movie, guys. It's okay.
I just
Toriyama's favorite character, guys.
was he
Yeah.
Toriyama's favorite character?
Yep.
I did not know that, so I learned something there. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is, I didn't put Spider-Man on
But
here.
no, you didn't tell me how much y'all liked the actual fight. What did y'all think about the fight itself? Because that was the big part of the episode.
Yeah,
was
the
phenomenal.
fight was really good. It really was. I mean, we knew what the outcome was probably going to be, but yeah, I really liked it. I was trying to figure out, and we were asking while we were watching the episode, is this dude a robot or is he alive? And then he took some damage that caused him to do something, and then we
I was about
realized,
to say, I saw a tongue. It's
He's-
just like,
yeah.
yeah, it's a dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's shaped like a robot. He could be a robot.
Also, the interesting thing is like seeing how much Goku's actually holding back on people too.
Yeah, because he's
Even
just
in
playing
that-
around. Because I was just like, yeah, he hasn't even went Super Saiyan yet, and he's
He went
He's-
Super Saiyan briefly for that fight.
he's gauging the how good the person he is that he's going up against. And
That's
just,
how Goku always
yeah,
fights.
and just trying to beat them at a
There's a joke in Team 4-Star with the Broly movie where Goku just goes, I think you're doing it wrong, Broly. We start off small and we go big. And Ism's like,
I am starting small. Oh,
Oh.
I will say that the Tamagami fight was probably one of the best fights we've ever had in all of Dragon Ball, especially with the choreography.
Oh,
it was so imaginative and made incredible use of the size difference between Goku and the Tamagami, as well as the environment for once.
well, you can tell. Yeah, you can tell also that they've advanced so much, not only in the graphics, but in how they're telling the story of the fight. Like
oh yeah,
the power pole just barely missing and stuff like. It's not quite bullet time, but it's slow mo right where you need the slow mo in the fight and things
Also,
like
how
that.
well Goku is adjusted to being a kid again.
That's true. That's true. But even as a kid, he still has all his. He's always been kind of a kid anyway, so it's not really
He's a
that
kid
much
at
of a
heart,
stretch.
but he's also a competitive genius.
All right,
So,
We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk Invincible. And you're going to spoil a little bit if you haven't seen it yet, but the latest episode is really messed up. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. I didn't know if you were caught up on this season yet.
yes,
Are you? Okay.
I'm aware of the entire.
Oh, okay. Was you read the comic or? Okay.
Oh, we saw the end credits.
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
Yeah. Save it. I don't know if it's good that I'm not getting noobed for board mistakes. I'm getting noobed for just being stupid.
We're going to categorize this as the CTE problems.
Hey, sometimes when I put these together and I grab news clips and I don't have a clue who the people are, but they told me to go local. I mean, I know who that is, obviously, but
Yeah, I don't blame you, Dave.
yeah, I have no idea what that was, but it just worked. Sorry about that, Dave. We're going to hit it right out of the break. We won't be on it that long. At least I don't think we will. I'm going to have to go home and watch what Jade Cargill did earlier. Again, she destroyed Naomi. And yes, Tiffany Stratton does do a perfect moonsault. Now comes the match that it's going to be weird. Hopefully no one gets too hurt. And what does it mean when Cody's going to give his soul? What if he does turn corporate? I just do not think that they're going to do that because of all the merchandise and everything.
Well, I think
when Hulk Hogan turned heel, it was one of the biggest shocks ever in all of wrestling. But he wasn't the big merch seller and all that stuff anymore. Cody is like number one at all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I don't think they turn him.
Well, I think the other thing, like what I mentioned to you earlier, is people have a theory that John Cena will cash in on that instead.
I hope so. I mean,
he finally gets his heel run.
I mean, someone pointed out, I think it was Trey pointed out to me Friday when we were talking about a little bit on the Rob Brown show, was that he was a heel for a while. During Thug Life and all that kind of stuff, he was kind of a heel, but he was more like, I don't know that he was straight up
hero
heel.
sort of.
Yeah, it was more like, yeah.
Is there a neutral thing in wrestling?
No, it's basically a Steve Austin. I mean, you know.
So yeah, Doctor of Thugonomics was never really all that much of a face. I also still love the fact that there's an invisible John Cena toy.
It's a good move. I don't know how much it costs to make, but it's a good move.
Also, that he acknowledges and just understands the meme.
I'm looking forward to Peacemaker 2.
It's the Upstate Pulse on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
Welcome back to the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo and Matthew and Cameron here. And of course, all of you. You can get us on the stream on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and X at either 98.9 WRD and the Upstate Pulse. So you can get us that way, or you can text us if that's what you want to do. 800-905-0989 is the text line. Before we get to Invincible, I just want to talk about how beautiful my hair is tonight. I want to thank my wonderful wife for going out and finding the shampoo that I really enjoyed, but it's been discontinued at a bunch of different places, and that's a problem because when you find something that works really good with your hair,
I don't know what I'd do without Head and Shoulders.
There you go. Well, you'd be flaky.
I'd be very flaky. It's the only shampoo out there that stops that.
Hey, Matthew would be salt shakers.
No.
'Cause
I
I,
would-
I
I-
also like
if
Head
I
and
use
Shoulders.
anything other than Head and Shoulders, I will take a shower and I will have dandruff again 2 hours later. It's crazy.
So I'm dealing with the thing that I've often dealt with, but this last week it's been very noticeable, and that's people staring at my hair and being judgmental. And part of the reasons why I leave it long is to rail against stereotypes. I don't think you can judge people by the length of their hair or the length of their beard. This is ratty and it's got a bunch of, I mean, if there's food in it, there's a problem. I mean,
Then you
I
become
won't
a
judge
sticky
you by
beard.
the length of your hair. I'll judge you by whether you obviously took a shower or not.
there we go. But
Cleanliness is a judgment. It is a,
was in Lowe's and walked in, and the lady just kind of stepped back and was just staring right at my hair. Now, it could have been that she recognized me. It could have been that.
She was starstruck.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the
listen,
Alonzo.
listen, I get it. Well, she was in a demographic that would actually be, anyway. So, but yeah, but she kept on smiling. There's some very judgmental people that look at you and they're mean and they stare at you. And I just want to say, I don't talk about your little boy haircut. Don't talk about my hair. Your uniform little boy haircut that you've been getting since you were 5. I mean, good for you. You like your hair. I like my hair. Okay. That's the thing. I was going to cut
I'm
it.
sorry, you can't look this good. Then you flip your
I
hair.
was going to cut it a couple times. Well, all 3 of us could flip our hair. Mine might hurt me though. Exactly. Way to go, Matthew. Yeah, I
got him to do it.
This has always bothered me, and the fact that people are so judgmental about hair, especially guys with long hair. I mean, did I used to be the lead singer of Warrant? Maybe I was the lead singer of Warrant. Where the Down Boys Go, I think is one of their tunes. I don't know. If it wasn't, it is now. Look at his name is Sebastian something. I forget. He's got long blonde hair.
I'm trying to think.
And he's an
It's
older
like-
dude now.
That's before my time.
He's on all those top 10 countdown things that I watch all the time.
oh,
you've been at-
yeah.
He's one of those guys, the behind the scenes type thing. I just looked over and saw my hair and just thought I would talk about that just because it always bothers me. And if you're one of the people who judge me by the length of my hair, let's have a conversation. Not really, because I don't like talking to people, but if we were to have a conversation, which we could like on the show about hair, if you don't have hair, I'm sorry. Maybe you choose to not have hair. We've got some beautiful bald heads around here, including LexCorp and Bill Frady. Bill Frady's, I'm not cracking on his head, dude. When you pull into this parking lot, he's the guy you notice. I mean, when you look up at all the pictures on this, I notice him. I do.
Do you feel safe?
Well, I say hi to myself every day, and I say hi to Bill Frady. And then I feel good about me, and I feel safe. That's a good point. It's an absolutely good point. All right. Speaking of being safe or not safe, Invincible season 3 has been it's been brutal, but so was season 1 and so was season 2. Actually,
That's just the series.
as far as it goes, I mean, it's been pretty graphic on some of the fights, but not nearly as bad as the first 2. I don't think.
Yeah, I think
'Cause there's been a little
we're
more-
saving up for stuff.
There's been a little more character development than there was in the first couple. I mean, they went bowling in this episode. They went bowling, and the best friend was really good at bowling, and he wanted to go bowling on his birthday.
The best thing about all of that is he's beating people with superpowers easily. A cyborg and 2 people with superpowers.
Well, they're
He's-
not using their superpowers. If they did, they would blow the place up. So there's that. I'm really enjoying this season, but this episode was rough. It absolutely was rough. Knew that it was going to be that way because when you have flashbacks, it kind of went the Batman Superman way, Batman versus Superman, where there were repercussions over the Superman versus General Zod fight, and that's what got Batman so angry because a bunch of people, got hurt. It kind of parallels that, and they do that a lot. They parallel other comic book things, and
In a lot of ways, Invincible has so many different parodies with it.
they do, and they
While
do that.
telling a good original story. too.
Right. They do that on purpose, but this does parallel that. And it makes you think when superheroes are fighting, there's going to be collateral damage. And in this case, thousands of people died. And some of those people, and actually this was, if I recall, he tried to save
Yes.
those people.
Those two specific.
Yeah, and
Yep.
then it comes back that that their brother just happened to be decided to get coffee before he went up in the building, and he wasn't there when the building got destroyed, and
Yeah.
now all he wanted to do was hold Invincible accountable. Really, he just wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
But the thing was,
His grief and his rage.
he was encouraged by his wife so much, and she was really, I think, the driving force behind the whole thing. And you knew the entire episode what was going to happen, that he was going to kill his wife and his kid. Sorry for spoilers. I did say we were doing that he was going to kill his own wife and his own kid. And what this does is, Mark finally acknowledges what the repercussions of what happens when something like that happens. It really hits home for him for the first time. And
it's not the first time.
Yeah,
He's
but
been facing it the entire past 2 seasons.
But I think in this case it's worse because he's right there and he sees that guy and tries to stop him from doing what he's doing, and then it was really rough.
Also, why didn't he just grab him and just? Well, all right, I'm going to counter my own point here. He probably couldn't have flown him away because there's every chance that he gets loose and hurts more people.
All right, Texter says Invincible's last episode was very disturbing. My sons 16 and 19 are both very much looking forward to the next episode. Yeah, me too. Hope it's a little more lighthearted, but it's not going to be.
Nope.
It's not going to be. It's going to be worse.
I think it's going to be much
because
worse.
at the end credits we saw an army of Invincibles.
All of them are evil Invincibles.
Yes,
because we've seen them through Engstrom Levy's flashbacks and stuff like that in season 2.
Yep.
So we are about to have the Invincible War, and I don't know anything about it other than it's going to be a war. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be rough. And I don't know where the Viltrumites come into play in this. I mean, if they show up in the middle of it.
Well, I mean, all the marks are Viltrumites.
Good point. That's not what I meant, though. That's what,
the other Viltrumites that are not marked.
Yeah, the Viltrumites that are not marked.
All the bad guys here that are not.
Well, technically, the Viltrumites that are marked are not pure Viltrumites. So
they are.
So no. They got human blood in them, so that makes them partially human. Well, the other ones are pure bloods. The pure bloods haven't shown up. Come on, give me that.
Viltrumite DNA, quote unquote, from Omni-Man, mentioning about how Viltrumite DNA is so pure, you're nearly full-blooded.
Nearly, but that's not entirely. Anyway, so at the end of it, there was a bunch of Invincibles. You like to think, okay, this character's safe. This character's not going to die. This character's not going to, but I don't know who's going to die or if any of them make it, other than I believe Mark will make it. And I don't know if Oliver makes it. I don't know if his mom's going to make it.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a prediction right now that Mark is going to make it through, but Mark is going to die.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. And you know what? I didn't think that through. And now I gotta concede that you're absolutely correct. Mark is not going to make it, but that's okay because Mark is. So we're good with. I can't wait till next week's episode. The sad part is I forgot. I knew there was something on Thursday that I was supposed to do. It was like, oh, just like today. I thought there were things I was supposed to do, and we've seen how that went. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Invincible. I need to watch that. And I was glad I remembered to watch it, and then really upset that I remembered to watch it. So I mean, there's that.
Cool, a new episode.
Yeah,
oh
it's like,
God, a new episode.
It's just the very beginning of it is like, yeah, this is not going to go well. This is not. But if you're into that kind of stuff, you should check it out. By the way, don't watch it with little kids.
No.
No.
The texter said, his kids 16 and 19. I think that's fine. But Texture says, guys, the violence in Invincible pales in comparison to The Boys. That's true. Because The Boys is live action.
Yeah.
And it's just
I would argue that Invincible is way more graphic.
Although the last
subway
not
scene.
this episode, but the last episode when he was just killing all the multiple guys and like ripping and taking the spine and killing another one with that was pretty bad. That's pretty wicked.
Invincible is way more graphic than The Boys. People just always see live action and say, oh, but it's live action.
Texture said Sebastian Bach. Thank you. That's who I'm. You can look him up later.
I did look him up.
Did you? And at least hair wise. I mean,
I'm not trying to be ultra flattering hair.
Oh yeah, man, I definitely look better than him. But that's because he's a lot of drugs involved in him, not in me. So drug free and fat.
The bright side of a
He's just
sober
like-
life.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. Maybe he was sober the entire time. He could be. All right. So anyway, looking forward to next week's episode to see how this war starts, if it indeed starts in next week's episode. Because just because they showed him doesn't mean it's actually going to start next week. You could still be building that army, getting a few more in there.
Well, from like,
or they
the
could
little-
just go. They could go completely away from that and go to Omni-Man and just show an episode about Omni. They could.
So let's just cut back to Nolan and Alan the Alien having a road trip back.
Well,
to
that's-
Earth.
Well, we're only going to cut to them if there's another sex scene, though.
Okay.
That's the
That was a
running
trope.
gag.
Yeah,
Is
'cause
The
it?
running gag is that they cut to it every time there's a sex scene.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between Adam, Eve, and yeah. No, I think the smart move to make now they've set up the entire thing is to do an entire episode of nothing but Omni-Man and the.
So what's Status just doing? He's just going around like looking at paperwork.
Well,
I mean,
like
yeah,
an hour.
probably. Like, unironically,
well,
probably.
while things are going on one place, something different is going on another place. So I mean, it's just like later that same day, something like that. I don't know. All right, when we come back, we're going to hit the roundtable. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. See, that's cool, Alan. I don't judge people by their hair, and a lot of people do, and I don't get that. Now, if we're doing something with the stations that's business related, and I feel like it would be better to have my hair up, I'll throw it up in a ponytail. But when I'm out and about,
Out in the boot.
I'll just let it go. Although today, whilst getting gas, it was very difficult.
It was billowing in the breeze.
It was, and I can still see I was filling it up, so I didn't need to see the number. I was filling it
The
up.
way that you were posed was like a long-haired Batman, just forlorn and just because your head was like tilted down. You looked like you were brooding slightly, even though I know you weren't.
Actually, I was talking about the guy from Warrant, not Sebastian Bach, but Sebastian Bach works. Warrant, Skid Row, White Lion, it's all the same. It's not really, but it's close.
Well, they sound about the same.
They're all guys from my era who still have long hair.
Yep.
All the people from your guys' era were boy bands, so they probably all still have their boy band haircuts. Nothing wrong with the boy band.
Do that or emo haircut. So
Oh my gosh, that's a mid 2000s thing right there.
just like spiky hair or something like that.
The scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you.
Where's the
He's
thing?
on meds too. For affordable term life insurance,
Odie has
call
moved everything around. It's always fun to try to find it.
800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break
Seriously,
out
dude,
in
where'd you
cold
put
sweat.
it?
No one wants to deal with the IRS.
Oh, there.
Now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best.
How quickly this show goes sometimes. It ebbs and flows. And this hour, the beginning of this hour, I'm like, okay, wait, it's 8:35. Okay.
How much time we have?
Minute?
253-6259. You have nothing to lose, but everything
Trying to
gain.
decide.
800-253-6259.
I mean, we also have the Nerd Roundtable intro, which is probably another 45 seconds.
And they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money,
I'm going to have to figure out how to get rid of the sinus headache. I may have to go home and take some sinus medicine. I've been trying to stay away from it because even if I take it at night, I can't shake the groggy feeling. And where I have to get up at 4 a.m., it's not good. Believe it or not, I get up at 4 a.m. and I'm wide awake now. This morning, I woke up at 6. That was good because 6 on the Saturday is still me sleeping 2 hours later than what I normally do.
Yeah. I'll just take it tonight because you don't have to do anything tomorrow.
True. But I don't stay up tonight. Probably won't. I'm going to go home and watch the rest of Elimination Chamber.
We know about reality. Don't ruin the fantasy, okay? The Upstate Pulse presents the Nerd Roundtable. Allow me to elaborate. Because the guys from your high school debate team need to lay the smackdown. Are you cool?
Welcome into the Nerd Roundtable, where we ask nerdy questions. We get down to it, and we just talk about a bunch of other stuff that we've been talking about the entire hour. But questions are definitely involved, including this first one. All right, so I have been playing the game Avowed, which just came out from Obsidian and was billed to be an open world, but it's not. I mean, it is open, but it's still, the maps are smaller, so you can discover things for sure, but it's not like as big as a Skyrim or Fallout, or definitely not as big as Starfield or anything like that. I was okay with that, but I'm having a problem, and I'm wondering if Matthew has ever had this problem, or anyone out there. I'm tired of playing. I want to beat it, and so I mean, I've probably put the equivalent of 3 days worth of playing time in it, and I'm on what I believe is the last area, and I just want to beat it. And I have this problem, and I do this a lot. I get to the point where I just want to, I know if I start playing another game, I won't come back to it. And I want to beat this game because I'm having fun playing it. It's not like I'm not having fun. I'm absolutely having fun. It's just difficult enough to keep me interested. I love the story. The story's bothering me because there are a lot of shades of gray. And so you don't know. I mean, there's no obvious, well, this is the good guy way. And sometimes you think it's the good guy way, and you find out, oh, crap, I should not have done that. And I thought I was doing the right thing, and I was not. So, and this is the third game of this. I didn't play the second one, but this is the first one like this that's open world and this and first person and all that kind of stuff. But the first game messed me up with its choices. This one seems to be even worse. So
it's very much on brand for what Pillars of Eternity is.
Yeah, because it's in that universe and so I'm okay with the story, but I'm tired of. I just want to move on. And I make this mistake. I made it before, thinking, forget it. I'm going to beat this now, and I know I'm not ready to beat it. And then I go over and I get myself stuck in a situation to where I either have to go back to an earlier save, and a lot of times I just have to start all over again, which I don't want to do. I've already played it too long.
Yeah.
Do you have this problem?
I don't think I've had that specific scenario, but I've certainly had similar scenarios in the past where it's just kind of, I get to a point where it's like, okay, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm kind of lost. And I try and go back, and it's just kind of feeling, well, I don't feel a point anymore almost. And I just end up quitting.
So you don't
That
go.
happened a lot more as a kid.
You don't go to the internet and go, okay, I can't figure out how to do it. Let me see
Well,
how to
that,
do
like
it.
I was saying, that happened a lot more when I was a kid, and that wasn't really a thing as a kid. There was like game facts that you could maybe find a forum post about.
Or you
if
could
were
go.
lucky.
You go buy a magazine that has stuff and
I
Strategy
couldn't
things like
do
that.
that as a 12-year-old. No.
Okay, well,
But-
I didn't know if they still strategy guides still existed.
Well,
when you
no,
were a
like
kid.
they existed.
Okay.
I'm saying that I, as a 12-year-old, did not have the means to go out and buy a game guide
It's
or
called a paper
magazine.
route, kid. I mean, come on.
No,
or have a dad
those
that's into
didn't
the same
exist.
games that you are.
Yeah, well,
In
that
same
helped
way.
you for sure. So it's good to know I'm not alone. Text line is 800-905-0989. Do you guys, do you get to a point where you're really entertained by the game, but you just want to beat it? And I guess it's a matter of patience. And I think I've reached the impatient part right now. There's nothing new out that I want to go play. There's a new game out that Cameron's going to talk about in just a minute, but there's nothing new that I want to play. I actually just kind of want to go back to some of the old stuff that I was playing, Baldur's Gate and Starfield.
You just want to go back to your comfort.
Yeah, I do want to go back to my comfort. And also maybe there's a sense of dread in me, knowing that I do believe I made some really bad choices. And I do think that the real monster is the thing you've been helping the entire time, and that you're going to have to fight said monster at the end.
Oh, probably.
I do believe that's what it's going to be. Or you choose to go, okay, kill everybody. I'm with you. I think it's going to be one of those things. And I don't know if it gets to that point where I go,
You know what?
You know
You're
what?
right. All these guys are punks.
You-
Let's do this.
I don't know if I get to the point where I go, if I agree with this entity and the game's over, then the game's over and then I can move on. Or does my sense of morality go, no, I can't do that?
What if you were the villain all along?
I played a couple games like that where you didn't realize you were the villain until the end. You kind of suspected that you might have been the villain, and it's like, nah, they wouldn't do that. And it's
Are
like,
we the baddies?
oh, I guess I am. I'm the bad guy. Okay. I don't think that's the case in this.
Well, I think, with this, I think you're actually, by your choices, I think you're molding.
The thing. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree because of the questions it asks and things like that. It's almost like a child that you're teaching the child what it should be.
Yes.
And I don't know what it's going to be at the end,
We'll figure out if it's been listening to us or not.
but it's good to know that I'm not alone on that. And I'm probably going to make a mistake
And I do-
tomorrow and try to beat it because
I feel that kind of pressure too, because I want to beat this and play Monster Hunter, but I'm enjoying it. I'm going to try and take my time with it too.
speaking of Monster Hunter, the new Monster Hunter is out, just came out yesterday. Cameron has played a little bit of it. What do you think of it so far?
I am loving this game. It is so good. Just, they improved on Monster Hunter World to such a degree. Like, the graphics look so much better. The combat is fluid in such a way to where things just roll really well together.
I was saying,
Now I have a really big question. Are you playing on console or PC?
Console, because I know PC is really bad.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
PC has been having serious performance issues that are not much better, if at all, from the beta. And if you look at the Steam page, it's like a 40% positive.
Well, and that's deserved because they should have had that fixed at launch.
They should have, yeah. That's one of the main reasons that I haven't been playing that and not really having a whole lot of time for it. But I would have tried to make a little bit of time for it if it was running properly.
I will say some of the cutscenes in there, like there's a cutscene in a sandstorm. I won't talk about things too much, but just the shots on it were awesome looking. And your hunter does some really cool stuff. Like, it gets you immersed, it gets you, it gives you that high of.
all right,
actual
what
action.
people really want to know is how are the cats?
Oh, the cats are awesome. Also, with this one, you can change it to whether or not they speak in the feline language or if they speak whatever the translation is for your particular game. So in this case, they can speak English for me.
Did you change it to that?
I tried it in the beta, but I was just like, it's funnier if it's
If it's just the kitten sounds?
if it's just the
okay.
meowing.
All right. I played.
Also, I will say one thing, and I kind of made like a YouTube thing with Pappy and like his whole thing, because Pappy's the character I play with in Monster Hunter. So he has his squire, Sir Kittenbach, and Sir Kittenbach wrecked a monster in one of the cutscenes. I was like, I'm so proud of you, buddy.
I liked the game, but I tried to play it with Cameron and another guy, and I couldn't keep up with them. It's one of those things where
Monster Hunter has a very steep learning curve.
yeah, and by the time I would get to them, they've already killed the thing, and it's like, you know what, this isn't fun for me, because all I'm basically doing is arriving to the fight to watch the fight over. And there are certain games that I just don't like playing with anybody else, and that's one of those. But if you do like playing it together, you haven't played with anybody else yet, have you?
I played in the beta with a buddy of mine. But
Okay.
we haven't linked up yet.
So how
because-
was it? How was it as far as that goes? How was the game playing with someone else compared to the other ones?
I mean, it's about the same. It's got like the same kind of camaraderie with it because the guy who I play with is really good too. So we're basically just making jokes and stuff as we're beating the mess out of the monster that we're fighting.
What weapon do you use?
So I actually switched over to gun lance for this one.
Oh,
Like I was messing around with the beta, and the last time I played, I was like, "This feels great."
All right, let's jump to a couple things on the stream.
Also, one last thing:
all right,
seeing Pappy body a giant monster with a shield is just fun to watch.
bet. Viper Dave says performance issues are common when you hit a certain age. I've heard that. My hand-eye coordination isn't what it was in my Dreamcast days. Yeah, I get that. Same here. You get older and you have to play Rock Band on medium because your hands just don't want to do that. Also, Javier says friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is insulting to the source material. You know what? Spider-Man, like a lot of like Batman and a bunch of other ones, there are a bunch of different versions of those comic books and of those cartoons, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
And
I thought it
haven't
was-
watched it.
yeah.
I thought it was
can't
an
say
interesting
anything.
new take.
It was. I'm looking forward to see if season 2 is as good as what season 1 was. Real quick on text line, guys, what do you think of Andor season 2 teaser? Here's the thing. Rogue One is the worst Star Wars movie ever created. So bad. It's so bad. There's no hope.
They pressed the button.
There's no hope. And I tried to watch like the first couple episodes of Andor season 1 and realized, at the end of that, there's no hope because it ends with the Rogue One
But
movie
Dad, there was a new
where there's
hope at the
where
end
there's
of
no
that
hope.
movie.
Yeah, okay. And they retcon to get back to the no, thank you. We get back to lightning round. See Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. You know what, Junior Bros, at the time, it was really cool, but I've done that 1,000 times in video games now and done it better.
Also, it's kind of cool to do it in VR, but when you become Vader, in that case, Blade and Sorcery Outer Rim mod. If you have it, try it. There's a thing I set up in like Jabba's palace because they converted a whole bunch of Battlefront 2 maps over to it. There's a whole bunch of Jedi like in the hallway. It's like you picked the wrong hall to be in.
I get more information from talk radio than I get from my representatives. I get all my news from you. You are so appreciated by many of us out here. And I'm trying to get a little more informed. You make me understand what's going on in this country.
The voice of the Carolinas. Spread the word. This is News Talk 98.9 WORD. The voice of the Carolinas.
It's been years in the making, and now Greenville is home to the most epic comic and game store around. Borderlands Comics and Games. Reimagined bigger and better than before. The state's premier hobby shop has been bringing the best in comics, manga, and gaming to the region for 3 decades. Come see us at our amazing location at 410 South Pleasantburg. Live the Borderlands experience. We've gone to a whole new level. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Proud sponsors of the Upstate Pulse. Borderlands Comics and Games. Read, build, play.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country.
I'm sorry, I feel bad kind of that I don't like the Andor stuff, but it's just, what I am being is consistent.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, look, Matthew's doing yoga.
I need to stretch on my back.
My back hurts.
Young whippersnapper don't understand.
My
how difficult
back!
it is these days.
That's what happens when you run marathons. You get achy back.
I don't think that's what happens from marathon. I think that's how you mess up your ankles and knees. And
You could
Yeah.
slip and hurt your back. Someone could trip you.
Yeah,
way-
but I think those are definitely edge cases compared to the normal injuries
I don't
you
know.
face from running.
I don't know. Could be a rush to the finish. Someone trips. Everybody goes down.
There's
someone
an
hurts their
errant
back.
banana peel. Things ensue.
Or a
I
cat.
think I mess up my back more with my posture than I do anything else.
Or maybe it's a cat. I downloaded a game on Game Pass where you play as a cat. My granddaughter, she just wanted to be able to trip humans. And you can trip humans. And they get really upset about it.
I would.
And she hasn't stole their phone yet. You can steal their phone. I'm like, take their phone. Because you can take their phone and run away and they'll chase you. And there's this other thing where this other cat tries to get you to knock stuff over in a farmer's market. So she's like on top of things, knocking watermelons over on the shop owner's head. And then the shop owner goes and gets a broom and tries to get you out. And then it will pick you up. And the whole time the cat's like all frazzled and puts out and then put it down. She just ran right back in.
Well, she has it down.
Yeah, it was. She's really enjoying that game.
Also, I'm gonna have to take an immediate detour as soon as this is done.
Okay. I appreciate you respectfully disagreeing. You don't have to be respectful about it. It's just my opinion, and I get what you're saying about The Last Jedi. I do. And the holiday special was pretty bad. It was, but to me, the sense of no hope is worse than any of those things. I want joy. I want a sense of, hey, things could be okay. And with that, I didn't see it. The All Psychics Network a call. The world is covered in psychic energy, and one of our vetted psychics will help you from any part of the planet. From America to Zimbabwe, we know. Just call 1-900-BLA-RNEY. Our psychics are standing by.
Ask your questions and then press 1 for English. Press 2 for Irish. Press 3 for Spanish. Press 4 for Ric Flair.
I was gonna put money on the Panthers to win this Sunday. Should I?
Gona sa to makara a wain to Mac an letters mas the hole agus kamera wancha Amadan.
What?
Squeal Mac and bubbly agus ta to rang a kin agus rang car Neil me eg incher on television agus on radio Squeal Mac to agus rollabulia.
I am spending my money for this. What the heck are you saying? What language is this?
Neil me higum to kestene ta me shacks a skull an will carry gum dalamakati and letters ta an mahar agus an ahar ra. Agus rollabulia.
That's 2. I'm pressing 1.
Hola, señorita. ¿Cómo está?
Just why?
Willkommen, mein Freund. Was ist dein Name?
But now he's speaking German. That's not even on the list. Why? Why is this still going on like this? This is so stupid. Why can't I get what I asked for? I asked for.
Call 1-900-BLA-RNEY today. The All Psychics Network. We know what you need to hear.
Why? Why are you all like this?
Even if you don't.
Lightning can only strike twice so many times.
All right, it's time for the lightning round where we squeeze in as many things as we possibly can in the last 5 minutes or so of this show. Starting with this, the trailer for the latest Nick Cage movie is out. It is called The Surfer. I know this is going to be, you're not going to believe this, but it looks really weird.
It does. It also looks really rough.
It looks, there's surfing involved in Nick Cage and violence and psychedelic stuff going on. We say this all the time when the latest Nick Cage comes, and Nick Cage has said he just keeps doing movies so he doesn't get drunk. So he just keeps working so he doesn't get in trouble. So he'll do any movie. This looks interesting.
Good for him.
It looks interesting. I am looking forward to watching it. Fable has been delayed till 2026.
Never getting released.
Yeah, dude, they put out some video of gameplay, and if that is actual gameplay, it looks really good. But we may never actually see or play it. I don't know.
I'd rather it get delayed and be good than come out and be all.
Fable 1, 2, and
I'd rather
3
keep
were really
getting
good.
delayed because it's funnier that way.
Well, Yeah, it could be the new Duke Nukem. I don't know. Duke Nukem. All right. Speaking of, we talked about The Boys a little bit earlier when we were talking about Invincible. The final season is going to be filming with some new characters that at least me and Cameron are familiar with. Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins have joined the cast. So,
You think Jensen's is going to kill them both?
well, I don't know, because there's a little video out of him calling Jared and Jared talking to Misha, and they're going to be in it. Who knows what they're going to play? Misha is going to be something totally absurd. You know it is.
Yeah.
It's going to be very weird. I don't know what Jared's going to be playing, but I've only watched the first 2 seasons of The Boys. I'm not caught up because
It's rough.
it is.
It's hard to get through.
It is. It's really, really rough.
It's
All
well
right.
put together, but it's rough.
There's a rumor going around that Daniel, who's the guy who played Harry Potter? Daniel Radcliffe.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I that was that in my head, and for some reason my head was saying you're wrong, but you're wrong, head. Daniel Radcliffe. The rumor was that he would be playing Clayface. People were going crazy about it. It was all over the internet, and then James Gunn said no, he's not. He's never even been approached. I mean,
I like how it's just like,
no. We respect the actor, but no, we haven't even talked to him. I mean, some of these things get out there, and then someone else sees it, and they want to copy it, and they throw it up there. I need actual sources before I believe half this stuff. And plus, I just don't even see him as Clayface. Clayface should be like a debonair type actor, not Daniel Radcliffe. All right, Skype is going away. Does that bother anybody?
No, not really.
Yeah, I didn't really care. I had to have engineering come in and help me, but that may just be because I'm old. But my mic didn't want to work half the time. All right, Shrek 5 is out with a little teaser trailer, and they have themselves a kid.
Well, they had 3.
But yeah, they have.
Yeah, but this one, I forgot about the other one.
So here's the thing. That's my question. Where are the other 2 kids?
Maybe she ate them.
It's not in the teaser.
Maybe she ate them. She could have. All right, so the baby, who's now a teenager, is Zendaya because she's like in everything now. So that's going to be interesting. Had a conversation with Rob Brown from the Rob Brown Show, talking about how unfunny Mike Myers has been for the last, 5-10 years. He peaked and then just disappeared. But one thing that's always been good has been Shrek. And I don't think he writes Shrek. I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's been pretty good. But I'm looking forward to Shrek 5. Cannot wait to see that and see the wonderful Zendaya, who's in everything. Daredevil Born Again comes out March 4th. I am so excited about this and not excited about it
I am both happy and scared.
because it's going to be very graphic. And would you stop catering to the stinking West Coast? All right. It comes out like at 9 o'clock on the East Coast, which is late for me. All right. I don't care about me. It's late for me. Put it out like at 7 p.m. or put it out at midnight. So, I mean, you could watch it when you get up or get home or something. So I don't have to wait till like Wednesday evening to watch it, but that's fine. All right. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and texting and being on the social media and all that kind of stuff. We will be back next week. And thank you for listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. So I didn't get to like the Teen Titans movie as a go. It's already been written. I mean, there's been some stuff. There's a new Starfire series coming out. It's a kid series though, but still, it's going to talk about her origins before she gets to Earth. There's some cool stuff that.
They also showed a photo of lanterns too.
Yeah, which looks good.
Yeah, with
All right.
and Jordan. Side by side.
See you, everybody. I'm going to go home and watch the rest of
Bye-bye.
of the wrestling. Bye-bye.